Hey y'all, how's it going? Welcome to the NFL Pick'ems podcast. As always, I am joined by my good buddy Steve.
Hey Joy, how's it going?
It is definitely going. It has been one heck of a day, I tell you what. It's been really warm here. I'm not a fan because I've already put the storm windows up and I was fully expecting it to be fall, and here we are, freaking mid-70s, right around 80, in my shorts and tank again, so.
Yeah.
I hate the
Bust
weather.
up the summer gear again.
Yeah, exactly. I hate the weather sometimes. It's so annoying. But what isn't annoying is the Bears losing. Although the Bears lost after I went with them, so I don't really know if it's my jinx kind of coming into play like I wanted it to, or what. But yeah, so we have a lot of things to discuss for this particular episode.
True.
Let's just dive right in then. Start with our stats. We have a lot of movement in the alone game and unanimous decisions pile, because the unanimous decision gained a loss thanks to the Browns upsetting the Ravens, more to the point thanks to the Ravens' defense letting them down. So we have a loss on that. And then we have 3 losses in the alone games column. Troll was the only one to take the Giants, and they lost. He was the only one to take the Colts, and they barely lost. And then Papa Agron went for a tie in a very gutsy decision, and that did not happen, so that counts as an alone game. So we have 5-11 in alone games, 5-3 on the unanimous decisions. The standings are so spread apart now. It's honestly insane to see how everybody was so bunched up together, and now we only have like one tie in the standings. So we've got Draz in first with 78-45. I am in second, 1 game behind, 77-46. SDS is 2 games behind me at 75-48, followed by John, 74-49. Beegers is 73-50. Papa Agron and Savage Owl are 71-52. Buff is 70-53. Steve is 69-54. Rev is 66-57, and Troll is playing his best round of golf with 50-73. Honestly, he's crushing it, and I'm here for it.
True. And I'm sure he's having a big laugh after last week's big game there.
Yeah, honestly, I love that he not only went exactly the opposite of you, but also got it right. Like, that was amazing. Like, a highlight of the week. Yeah. Speaking of things of the week, are you ready to get into our recap? Because, good lord, is there a lot to discuss here. So, Steve and I, again, we have conferred with each other prior to starting, and our game of the week is going to be the obvious ending of Bears and Commanders and their wild Hail Mary shenanigans. I'm still mad. I don't know about y'all, but yeah. I put my faith in Chicago off their bye, and this is how they repay me. By having their defender mock the Commanders on the final play of the game, and then also be the one to not be in the end zone when he tips it, so that Noah Brown, I think it was, can be in the end zone to receive the tipped backwards pass. You're supposed to bat them forward, just so you guys know. When you're trying to defend a Hail Mary, you bat it down. You don't bat it up. Batting it up is how bad things happen, like we just seen with the Commanders and the Bears. So,
yeah, freaking Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, look, I honestly, though, his ability to move about the pocket and extend that play long enough for the Hail Mary was a thing of beauty, and kid's got an arm. He's got an arm on him. That was really, really cool to see.
Yeah, him playing with sore ribs, probably.
Yeah, it was it was a very gutsy performance. Because, yeah, I mean, like you just said, with the bruised ribs, too, the ability of being able to still hurl it that deep with your ribs kind of in some pain. And he took a shot shortly before that, too, from somebody on the defense of the Bears. So he definitely, it was a gutsy performance and very, very well done. And then moving on, we can go on to the shock of the week if you're ready for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we've again decided that the Rams are our shock of the week this week because they finally remembered how to football.
Yeah.
Who knew that Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp coming back would actually be the biggest of difference makers? True. Probably everybody. I should have guessed as much, but also, wasn't that the week that the face mask issue happened?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so Sam Darnold in the end zone got a massive face mask penalty that was like 3 feet away from the end zone official, and they did not call that, even though literally everybody's seen Sam Darnold's head twist to the other side. And then they just, tried to explain, well, there was players in front of me and I couldn't see the play and I didn't see it happen and I can't call what I don't see. And I'm like, where have I heard that before?
Yeah.
Huh.
What happened to the upstairs assistants there?
I think the issue here is that I don't think that no calls can be reviewed. Like, I don't think that that's something, like, we can't have a booth penalty. Because just because the booth or New York sees it doesn't mean that they can call it in and say, hey, you remember a couple of plays back, you missed blah. So, I do think there needs to be a lot of fixes on the officiating side of things. I still think that they should have to go to camp and have press conferences just like the players do. I think that there needs to be some kind of accountability for the officiating. There's been a call for that for years, and they've done nothing to fix it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't think they're ever going to be fair.
Yeah.
It probably costs too much money, and Roger Goodell doesn't want to do that.
Exactly.
And then we have our regrets of the week. My regret of the week is not listening to Spite and picking the Bears to win off of their bye, completely forgetting that they tend to get stuck on stupid a lot of the time. And so we've already basically covered that and why I'm mad and stuff. So not a whole lot to say on my regret, but Steve here has a different regret than I do.
Yeah. Mine is choosing the Cowboys to beat the Niners. Unfortunately, I was wrong because I figured the Cowboys always do well on the road there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've done better on the road than they have at home this year for sure. So I don't think that it was a bad decision to try to go for them. Of course, hindsight being 2020 the way that it is, that would definitely be regrettable. But I was gonna go with the Cowboys too until I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna do a stupid and just trust my favorites instead of trying to play it smart. Which I probably should have done with the Bears, now that I'm thinking about it. Don't trust the bye all the time. Sometimes it'll just steer you wrong. And then, wrapping up our recap, we have the disappointment of the week being, I'm sorry, Beegers, the Baltimore Ravens.
True.
Now, in a slight blame game here, I will shoulder some of it myself because last week I made the fatal error of saying that Derrick Henry was jinx-proof. And then he went on to rush for under 100 yards, which is very un-King Henry-like.
Yeah.
And then the Ravens' defense dropped the ball quite literally on that interception. That allowed Jameis Winston to throw the game-winning touchdown. So, yeah, it was definitely a rough game. There was a couple of games. the Ravens game and the Bears game that actually got me reactionary. I was very interested and invested, and it was another one of these, like, holding the squat position, waiting for the final play, and then the disappointment overwhelmed me.
Obviously, that their late drop there by the Ravens wide receiver, they're pretty much costing the game there.
Ooh, yeah, that didn't help either, to be fair. I was more focused on the defensive side of things, but you're not wrong. The offense kind of dropped the ball too, which is unfortunate and kind of strange considering. But yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of disappointments, just in general, a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
But the only thing that we could honestly rely on last week was Detroit's massacre of Tennessee. That's something that pretty much everybody's seen coming.
True.
Oh, also, one little happy note of the recap segment. We have the Jets losing to the Patriots, not sweeping them. Aaron Rodgers' fault all day, every day. He's bad.
True.
Go home. I'm happy. I'm disappointed that Drake May got hurt in concussion protocol, but Jacoby Brissett was enough to beat Aaron Rodgers, and that makes me the happiest of joys. Alright, well, on that happy note, we can now turn the page, and hopefully, because their game is up first, our happy trend continues.
True.
If you are ready.
On to week 9.
Yes.
So to start week 9, we have 2 teams on the bye. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers there, come out their huge win against the Giants on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the San Francisco 49ers come out their huge win Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys, as we discussed.
Yeah, they really needed the bye. They've been banged up for a while. And hopefully this will be the reset that they need going forward to take on who could be a fairly tough opponent in week 10. We will see how week 9 treats them.
Sure.
But so first game up of the week 9 slate, we have Thursday Night Football with the Houston Texans going to the Jets.
Yeah,
what say you?
That's going to be a spooky Halloween game for us there.
I hope that I am not startled by what happens in this game, but I have a funny feeling that I'm going to be.
Yeah. Obviously, the big story with the Texans is them going to be up without Stephon Diggs for the rest of the season there.
Yeah. Didn't he tear his ACL?
Yep.
Yeah, it is really, really unfortunate. And I believe that Nico Collins is still hurt too, right?
True. Yeah.
Let me see. Will they get them back for... Well, he's tracking fast towards a speedy recovery from his hamstring injury.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's going to play, but they say that he's... Oh, no, he's not eligible to come off the injured list until November 4th.
True.
So he will not be playing for week 9. Big sad.
True. Yeah. And obviously the same injuries are with the Jets there. A lot of their defensive players, and I just learned today their kicker Greg Zuerlein injured his knee there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah, they're trying out 2 kickers there, and they're going to have to activate one of them off the practice roster.
Yeah, they put him on the IR, and they added 2 kickers for the game. So, I mean, to be fair, he was the problem anyway, right? Like, it definitely wasn't anybody else on that team that was costing them the games. So, if nothing else, this will be definitely...
Imagine that.
Exactly. It was definitely Zuerlein's fault, and having him on the IR now should only make them better. So, that definitely does change some things here. What are we thinking for the prediction of the game. Because I'm pretty sure everybody knows which way I'm going.
Yeah, obviously, you're going with the spike pick, and I'm going to agree with you, and I'll take the Texans on the road to beat the Jets.
All right, excellent. I was really hoping we weren't going to split on that. I would have been sad. All right, so first game up, we agree. Second game, we have the always struggling Dallas Cowboys going to the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with the Cowboys there.
I really don't know. Like, it is such a 180 from last season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because them being without Dan Quinn, who left the ship to go to Washington.
Right. I mean, that could be, yeah, I think that that's definitely part of it, but that's not really explaining the offensive struggles that they have. Because he was the defensive coordinator, right?
True. Now, obviously, the Falcons there, they shocked me there by beating the BUCS there.
Yeah, I think honestly that game was more so just because the BUCS are so injured, to be fair.
Yeah.
I don't really want to make like excuses for the game, but I will say that the injuries to the BUCS offense definitely played a role.
For me, this one's going to be a no-brainer. There, I'm going to take the Falcons at home to beat the Cowboys there.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. I think that the Cowboys are just struggling really hard. Now, it would be possible that the Falcons could lose this one easily, but I'm choosing to kind of still trust in them against my better judgment. So we shall see.
Okay.
And then next up, we have a division game with the Dolphins going to the Bills.
Yeah. Obviously, Tua's comeback came up 1 point short against the Cardinals there last week there.
Yeah, it was a game-winning field goal. It was definitely another one of those stressful games that I almost had as the game of the week. But unfortunately, the ending of the Bears game was just too obvious to pass up, unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Tua did all right. Unfortunately, it didn't really help. I didn't expect it to, but... and then, of course, this week it's not even going to be any better for him because they're facing a AFC East juggernaut in the Bills.
True.
So...
Yeah, they're coming off that huge win against the Seahawks there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that they did kind of help silence a few of the haters on that, because there was a lot of people saying that, you know, the Bills haven't beaten anybody good, and...
Amari Cooper was the big X factor for that.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, that game was mostly won via James Cook, but let me check my sleeper real quick and make sure. Because I have Amari Cooper on my team as well. And I don't recall him doing, like, fantastic. He was targeted twice, caught once for 3 yards. So he only had 1 catch in the game against Seattle.
True.
But again, him being on the field was certainly helpful.
So my pick is obvious there. I'm going to take the Bills at home to beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, once again, we do not have a split. I'm really not surprised. So far, these games have been fairly easy. I am also taking the Bills. I think that an upset would be fun, but I just don't see it. I think that the Bills are too strong. Now, they can be wishy-washy, don't get me wrong, but I think that they're a stronger team than Miami is. Alright, next one, I am prepared to be disappointed regardless. We have the Raiders and the Bengals.
Yeah, obviously, the Raiders are going down the tubes this season there.
Right, and well, I mean, in part, but to be fair, they're just, from the top down, they're kind of a mess, I think. Like, it could very well be the loss of Josh Jacobs that caused it all, because they kind of lost their run game.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to think that losing Josh Jacobs really caused this much of a butterfly effect.
Exactly.
And then the Bengals really disappointed me last week against Philly.
Sure. The worst of it's probably over for them because they need a rebound game this weekend. What perfect opponents to do it against than the Raiders there.
Admittedly, yeah. Like, this is kind of the perfect reset game for them. It's not going to be, easy by any means, but I do think that it will be easier than they've been having. And then, what do they do next week? Let me take a look real quick. Oh dear. Next week they have to go to Baltimore. So, yeah, this is the time to get your win, and I think Steve and I are going to both give you that.
Yeah, obviously there.
Take your win now, and good luck in week 10.
Yep.
Oh boy. Alright, and then next we move on to the Browns, who are very surprising, hosting the Chargers.
Yeah. Who would have thought Jameis Winston would turn that franchise around there after getting rid of after Deshaun Watson goes down to injury?
A lot of people. All you had to do this entire time, Cleveland, was get rid of the cancer, and all of a sudden we can play well. That's all it took. I mean, Jameis Winston is not a bad quarterback by any means.
True.
He's not elite.
We saw what he did in New Orleans last season.
Exactly. Like, he's not an elite quarterback, but he's not a bad quarterback, So, you had a bad quarterback. And because of his contract, you were stuck with him. Now he's hurt, and now we can...
Hey, Dio.
I don't like him either. Shut up. Now he's hurt, and now we can kind of try to... Oh my god! Hi! Hello! Can I finish? I guess that's a no.
He wants to get his 2 cents worth in.
I guess so, my gosh. I'm taking the Browns. Let's just cut to the chase before I get interrupted again by the bird. I'm going with the Browns, mostly because I can't trust the Chargers, and I trust the Browns more right now.
Exactly. 100% agree.
Next game, we have the Patriots and the Titans. The Titans definitely need a rebound, and I feel sorry for them. I really do, because, as a Lions fan, we've been there. We've been in the first year of a rebuild multiple times, and we know how hard it is to go through that and to see your team struggle so much when you have, so much potential on that team. But, yeah, I really do feel for him, and I kind of feel for New England, too. Especially with Drake May's concussion. This game isn't going to be pretty.
But bear in mind, the Patriots last week only beat the Jets there.
I know, but again, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that they got their win on that game in particular. If they lose out the rest of the season, I'm still going to be happy.
I'm going to go with the Titans at home to beat the Patriots.
I would have. I think that this game could easily go either way. But I'm taking the Patriots because I'm going to choose to believe in the curse of the Lions. And if the Titans are the team to break that curse, then kudos to you. But there's a stat. After the Vikings lost to the Rams, teams that play the Lions 1 week are now 0-5 in the following week that they play. Rams lost to the Cardinals, the BUCS lost to the Broncos, the Cardinals lost to the Commanders, Seahawks lost to the Giants, and then the Vikings lost to the Rams. So any team that faces Detroit is, for some reason, mentally destroyed the following week. And I hope that that's not true for Tennessee, because, again, I would love for Tennessee to do well, but I'm going to believe in the curse of the Lions. Alright, so next up we have the Colts and the very angry Vikings.
Yeah. Obviously, the Colts, they're. What happened to them last week there?
They got tired.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson, in
Yeah.
particular, got a little tired, and they couldn't manage to finish the game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But because of that, they actually did a good thing, and they benched Anthony Richardson in favor of Father Flacco. So
Exactly.
they unfortunately decided to do that after I made my pick.
Yeah.
So if I get this one wrong, that'll be why.
Yeah.
Because I took the Vikings because I figure, well, they're a better team overall, and they really need a bounce back after 2 back-to-back losses, and the penalty that wasn't.
True. Yeah. I'm going to 100% agree with you and take the Vikings at home on Sunday night to beat the Colts.
Oh, is that Sunday night that they flexed that game? Oh, God. See? I knew there was going to be some mess-ups in my sheet here.
Yeah.
Because I wrote these down ahead of time, and the NFL decided, you know what, we're going to flex this game because it's a lot more interesting. It's like, oh, all right. That's cool. I'm still going to go with the schedule that I have. Sorry in advance to you guys if they are off.
Yeah.
So next in my sheet, I have the Commanders and the Giants.
Yeah. Freaking Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, so he's becoming your... Is he becoming your Bane player? Because you're kind of using the freaking Daniels a lot. So he's
say a little bit there.
Yeah, so he's kind of becoming that player you can't really get a good handle on, and then he messes things up for you.
True. Yeah, because I figured his ribs there were going to hamper him, but I guess I was wrong there.
Yeah, I mean he toughed it out. Something that the Giants are not accustomed to doing at all. Good Lord, they are a mess.
True. Give me the Commanders to beat the Giants.
Yeah, same. I'm in agreement with you. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure we're both gonna go against the Giants here. Unfortunately for them. So that was real easy. Commanders win. Next one might be closer than we think. We have the Saints and the Panthers. They are unsure on if Carr is playing as far as I know, but I can look that up real quick to confirm.
Okay.
I think signs are optimistic.
True. Yeah. And obviously with the Panthers, there Bryce Young is going to start again there, even though Andy Dalton's practicing a lot there. But the Panthers want to see how Bryce Young can handle the pressure.
Right. I mean, especially when you're facing a division rival. Not only that, but Andy Dalton's car accident is going to take him a little bit of time to like fully recover from it. So I can understand them kind of holding him back. Because, you know, they're not the Dolphins. They're not just going to throw their player out into the wolves after an injury and just hope for the best, you know?
Exactly. For me, this one's a no-brainer. The Saints on the road to beat the Panthers.
Yeah, I do think this has sleeper potential. This could easily be a Panthers win. But I'm going to take the Saints because I think that they're the better team overall. I know that they're struggling defensively, but I think that their offense can more than make up for that when you're facing a team like Carolina.
Exactly.
Even if Carr doesn't play, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Alright, and then next in my book, I have the Broncos going to the Ravens, who recently made a trade with the aforementioned Panthers to bring former AFC North rival player Deontay Johnson to the Ravens.
Yeah. Hopefully that'll be the big weapon there that what's his face there?
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, yeah.
It's okay. Using what's his face is really good and kind of appropriate when, you know, right now, at least for me, the focus on the Ravens is Derrick Henry and how bit of a mess their defense has been. I mean, like I said during our recap, their defense really, really lets them down a lot of the time.
True.
And I don't know why. And you can't even blame me for that on the jinxing side of things, because their defense has been letting them down for weeks prior to me saying that they were jinx proof. So just putting that out there.
Yeah.
And not only that, I never once mentioned defense.
With the defense there, maybe they should make a quick trade before the deadline there to help improve it there.
I mean, maybe, but I don't know who they would go out and get. You know, there's a lot of players that aren't available that teams want. But, like, and also not only that, but the Ravens kind of have a lot tied up in other players and other pieces already. So I don't really know what they can expend to go out there and rebuild their defense with.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it'd be cool if they could. I'm sure that would definitely help out.
True. Yeah. But for me, they're... I'm so sorry to fans of Bo Nix there, but I'm going to go with the Ravens at home to beat the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that one. I just, I feel bad for Denver because Baltimore has to have a really strong rebound, and I think similarly to what we talked about with Cincinnati, kind of using Vegas, I think that's exactly what they're going to do. And I think, honestly, I wanted to almost go for an upset here just to be risky. And because I kind of like what Denver's doing a little bit. But I couldn't. I'm sticking with Baltimore.
Yeah.
Alright, but speaking of upset, I am. We have the Bears and the Cardinals.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, there one play we discussed about earlier at the end there, the Bears were pretty good there.
I don't know. I kind of disagree because they didn't take the lead until the fourth quarter. They were just, field goals here, field goals here, field goals here.
Sure.
They just, for me, they didn't perform like a well-rested team coming off of the bye. They performed like the Bears that I come to know. And it was incredibly disappointing because I expected them to at least, put forth some kind of good effort. But again, it appears as though they forgot that the run game is their specialty. And then once they did hand the ball off, DeAndre Swift ripped off a 56-yard touchdown run. But then they quickly abandoned the run again, thinking, well, now that we actually scored, we can actually let Caleb Williams, be the star that he's supposed to be. You stop that. Stop. Just, you're supposed to play smart, not play to the stardom. And then the Cardinals, last week, what exactly did they do again? Let me take a look. They
beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, they beat up on Miami with a last-second field goal. It was incredibly stressful. But they helped me out with a good split game. So I was very happy about that. I don't think this game is going to be as close as last week was. I'm taking the Cardinals because frick the Bears. We're bringing it back.
True. And unfortunately, we got our second split because I'm taking the risk and taking the Bears on the road to beat the Cardinals there.
You know what? I can respect that. I understand why. They need a bounce back, but I'm not going to be fooled again.
No.
All right. So now we have the Lions going to Green Bay, and from what I recall, the officiating crew that was part of the face mask penalty that was not, in fact, a face mask penalty with the Lions and Packers back in Aaron Rodgers' day, will be the officiating crew for this game. There's also some questions about Jared Goff because he was limping around a little bit in the end of the game with Tennessee, which I'm so happy that they actually pulled him and sat him and let Hendon Hooker play, because there was no reason to risk your boy for nothing.
Yeah, especially in a blowout game.
Exactly, yeah. There's some lessons to be taken from that. If the game is well in hand, give your other players a chance to actually get some game time experience in and protect your starter.
Exactly. Yeah, the question is, do the Lions prepare for Jordan Love or Malik Willis there? That's the question.
Honestly, yeah, and that is a big mystery because they're completely different play styles, right? Because Malik Willis, if I'm not mistaken, is a little bit more flighty. Like, he's not afraid to really run for it, where Jordan Love is more of a game manager kind of quarterback from what I've been seeing. So it's a completely different mindset going in. And I think that Aaron Glenn is preparing his guys for both. So we have a game plan for you, and we have a game plan for you. So whoever ends up starting, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to attack this game. Either way, it's going to be an offensive battle. And I think Detroit wins that battle. Because I don't think that Green Bay has the defense to handle the onslaught of what Detroit can do and put up. I don't think that it's going to be a blowout. I don't think that it's going to be a safe victory. I think I'm going to be very stressed out pretty much the whole darn time. But I do think that the Lions are going to win this one simply because of their run game.
Yeah, I think we're going to have our third split there, because I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers at home to beat the Lions there. I'm going to use my specialty here, the 3-point or less rule.
Okay, you know what? That just makes me more stressed out again. Because I can see that. Once I heard that the officiating crew was going to be the same officiating crew that essentially gave the Packers the win the last time they reffed this game, I kind of got a sinking feeling in my stomach, like, oh my god, this is a trap. This game is a trap, and they're going to find some kind of way of keeping the Packers in it. They're going to find some kind of way of making it blatantly obvious that we do not want Detroit winning. So when I was talking to Dad about that, I said, the only way to prevent that from happening is to take them out of the equation, which means that you have to be offensively the juggernaut that you are, and make sure that this game is so far out of reach that the referee's decisions don't matter. That's the only way of actually winning this game. So there's a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. So we'll see how they do. Alright, next up, continuing along with rivalry week here, we have the Rams and the Seahawks.
Yeah, obviously this is going to be another close game there. Obviously, with the Rams there getting their big wide receivers back in Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp there.
Yeah, exactly. That exactly was the reason that I decided to go ahead and move Stafford off of my bench in fantasy. And I actually start him over Jared Goff this week in my fantasy team, because I think that from a sheer weapon standpoint, I think that Matt Stafford has a lot more of those to use, because quite frankly Detroit tends to rely on the run game a lot more than the Rams do, and having Kupp and Puka back is definitely going to help out a lot. Seattle also needs a bounce back though.
Yeah, exactly. After coming out that huge disappointment against the Bills there.
Yeah, they were, well, not only that, but that was such a flag heavy game. It was absolutely ridiculous. I think because John was kind of giving some play-by-play reaction to SDS9 in our group chat, and he was saying that there's like 30 flags during that game. Like they broke a record in the first half or something like that. So hopefully the refs don't do the same thing and they don't kind of help the Rams a little bit. Now that I'm kind of thinking about it, they probably will. I think that this is going to be one of those kinds of weeks where the flag is everywhere. And it's not going to be fun, but we'll just have to grin and bear it. For me personally, we might have another split here because I'm going to take Seattle at home because I have a hard time trusting that the Rams are going to win the last 3 games. I don't see them going 3 in a row.
This might shock you there, but I'm going to 100% agree with you and take Seattle at home to beat the Rams.
Really? I'm surprised. Okay. Well, then I think we are going to probably end this week on an odd number of splits, which is always fun. I hate that. Because I don't really see a split in these last 2. Next up, on my sheet anyway, we have the Jaguars and the Eagles. This is probably why it was flexed out of Sunday Night Football, because it's the Jags.
Yeah, since obviously the Jags are just horrible right now. I don't know what's wrong with Trevor Lawrence.
I think it's probably a lack of receivers, because they do not have any.
Yeah.
Like, it's getting bad down there. But also, conversely, they dang near beat the Packers. Yeah. It was close. It took another last-second field goal in a game for the Packers to actually beat Jacksonville. So I won't count Jacksonville out, because like I said, I do not really like Philadelphia or trust them to be good and consistent. They haven't been impressing me at all this season. But that being said, I'm definitely going to take them in this one.
Yeah, obviously this is a big game there. The Eagles will win there against the Jags there.
They have to. Like, if they have any hope for the rest of the season, they have to beat Jacksonville. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Exactly.
But okay, so final game of the week, we have Tampa Bay in Kansas City.
Discussed earlier, the BUCS are injury prone right now.
Yeah, they're hurt. I don't really know the status of Mike Evans, but I do know that Godwin is out for the year. And also the fact that their bye isn't until week 11 really, really hurts, because they are banged up and they have to go like over half the season. Yeah. That is really weird scheduling. Really weird.
Obviously, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They're perfect so far, the last perfect team in the league.
Right now, eventually, that's going to have to come to an end. It's going to have to. Like, they have to lose eventually. The question is, do we expect the battered and bruised BUCS to be the one to do that?
Ooh, in my opinion, I highly doubt it there, because obviously they're too powerful of a team there.
Yeah, I agree.
Their offense is really good. They're especially now they got DeAndre Hopkins at wide receiver.
Right. Now, per the usual, it's going to take a week or 2 before the receivers are acclimated to the new system and actually become a playmaker. But I do think that he's going to definitely help them long-term. Long-term relative to this season. I don't know how long-term he'll actually stick around, but for this season, he's definitely going to help them playoffs, for sure. Honestly, I think they have a better chance of losing next week than they do this week.
Yeah, obviously.
So
we'll obviously be in the agreement and take the Chiefs at home.
Yeah, unfortunately, which means I was right, and we do, in fact, have an odd number of splits. So one of us is going to be winning over the other, and that's... I really, really wish we would have had an even number. Okay, so...
So, now that that's done there, it's time to find out how our friends do with their picks this week.
Indeed. We have John, who took the Texans, the Cowboys, the Bills, Bengals, Browns, Patriots, Commanders, Saints, Ravens, Cardinals for the Bears, spite, the Eagles, the Lions for the FTP, spite, the Rams with an eye roll emoji because he knows how this game is about to go, the Colts for Father Flacco, and the Chiefs for spite against the BUCS, and of course his Kelsey thirst. Per the usual.
Yeah.
Alright, and then next we have SDS, who went with the Jets, Saints, Commanders, Bills, Chargers, Patriots, Cowboys over the Falcons, Bengals, Ravens, Cardinals, Eagles, Seahawks, Lions, Vikings, and BUCS over the Chiefs. Because he's the biased Buck for a reason. Like, honestly. Alright, and then next we have Troll.
Uh-oh, the bane of my existence.
Ooh, you hear that, Troll? You've reached Bane of the Existence territory. Somebody has leveled up in their status. Alright, we have Troll, who took the Jets, Panthers, Giants, Dolphins, Browns, Titans, Cowboys, Bengals versus Raiders. Who you got, Steve? I got the other guys. So who did you take?
I went with the Bengals.
So Troll took the Raiders.
Oh my.
Broncos, Cardinals, Jags, Seahawks, Lions, Vikings, and the BUCS, saying, SDS, stop letting people down with your team. We know we're bad. And then we have Buff, who took the New York Jets, the Atlanta Falcons, the Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, Tennessee Titans, Minnesota Vikings, New York Giants, Carolina Panthers, Baltimore Ravens, Arizona Cardinals, Green Bay Packers, boo, Seattle Seahawks, Philadelphia Eagles, and Kansas City Chiefs. We have Beegers, who took the Jets, Pats, Chargers, Saints, Bills, Cowboys, his Ravens, the Bengals, Commanders, Bears, Eagles, Rams, Lions, Vikings, and Chiefs, with the side note, a week I don't have to pick the Steelers is a good week for me. And then we've got Rev. He took the Texans, the Falcons, the Bills, Bengals, Chargers, Patriots, Commanders, Saints, Ravens, Eagles, Cardinals, Lions, Rams, and Vikings, and the BUCS, saying that the Chiefs need to be knocked down a peg. And then now we have Owl, who went with the Texans, Cowboys, Dolphins over the Bills, Bengals, Chargers, Patriots, Vikings, Giants, Saints, Ravens, Cardinals, Lions, Seahawks, Eagles, and Chiefs. And then rounding us off, we have Draz. Texans beat the Jets. Saints beat the Panthers. If no car, the Panthers win. Commanders beat Giants. Bills beat Dolphins. Chargers beat the Browns. Winston is better than Watson, but had at least 2 dropped interceptions. Patriots beat the Titans. Falcons beat Cowboys. Bengals beat Raiders. Ravens beat Broncos. Please don't choke again, Ravens. Cardinals beat the Bears because his belief in the Cardinals is paying off. Jaguars beat Eagles in an upset alert. Rams beat Seahawks. Both teams should probably just blow it up. The Lions destroy the Packers. As a Packers fan, we have almost no chance to stop their run game. Vikings beat the Colts because they're mad. And the BUCS upset the Chiefs because Mahomes is actually bad this year on a great football team. Alright, so there we have that.
Yeah. This is going to be an interesting week there.
That is so
a lot more movement in the standings.
I definitely think so. I think we have a lot of disagreements amongst everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm fully expecting another shakeup because there's a lot of people who are like 1 or 2 games apart. And so it's going to be really, really interesting to see what all happens from that. But
True.
Steve and I both thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for playing along in our standings and our pickems versus as well. And also, as always, a big shout out to the members of the channel. You can see your name scrolling up above. We have Richard, Sandra, George, and Aracellus as well. So thank you so much for the continued support. And if you guys would like to be a member as well, you can go ahead and check out the membership tab and see the new perks that we've added in. And you too can have a quick little shout out as well.
True. And obviously, if you like our videos, please like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell for all the future versus videos on here.
Thank you as always again. Thanks for joining me in the Pickems, Steve, and participants, and we will catch you guys next week when we recap this insane mess of a slate that is about to happen and dive into week 10.
Thank you all. See you all next week.